Hey, just give me a moment while I make sure that everything is coming through okay. This is actually my first time. I've gone live tons of times before now, but this is my first time that I've ever gone live on YouTube. So just give me a moment while I make sure that we are good to go and everything is pulling through okay with my audio and my sound, and so that I know that everyone can see me and hear me. So just give me a couple seconds, y'all. Okay, so as you are coming on in, say hey, let me know who is joining here today. So that way I have an idea on who is rocking with me live because I am so excited to bring today's training to you guys. It's about to go down. And I definitely want to make sure that I know who is joining in the building. And even if you are catching this on the replay after I have gone live, then definitely make sure you comment hashtag replay. So I know who's here because today I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of my favorite topics, actually. And it's all about nutrition and macros. And we're going to be doing a live Q&A to everyone that's here. And there's going to be a giveaway at the end. So as you guys are coming on in, let me know who is here. Let me see. Caramel Chick 88. Hey, it's VSG Chick. Oh, hey, boo. Hey. Hey. All right, guys. So I know you guys can hear me okay. Let me know as y'all are rolling on in a couple things I'm going to ask you guys because today's going to be a super fun interactive class. So let me know where you're joining from and what's your favorite guilty pleasure. So while you guys are doing that, I'm just going to take a little minute and share this stream out to let folks know that it is going down right now. So let me know as you're coming on in, where you're joining from, favorite guilty pleasure, and we will go ahead and get started in a few. Sharing this with some of my groups and my girls inside of Snatched, so that way everyone can join on in and get their questions answered today. Okay. Let's see. Hop on over and let my girls know over in Snatch Waist Challenge that we are here live. Okay, so I'm seeing comments come on in. Let me hop back on over so I can see where you guys are all at. So we have, let's see. I'm seeing, I'm from Tennessee, and my favorite to pleasure is definitely sweets. I'm a sucker for cookies, homemade cakes, and pot. Girl, listen, me too. See the way the sweet tooth set up? I'm convinced I have a sugar baby living in my belly, and it likes to cry at night and in the morning and afternoon, pretty much at all times of day. So I 100% understand that life all too well. So you are definitely going to get some nuggets today. So that way you guys can learn how to work in some of those things. So maybe if you enjoy sweets like cookies, cakes, pies, you can learn how to work those into your eating plan on a normal basis. So that way you don't have to feel like you are depriving yourself of your favorite foods to lose weight, because that is just not what I'm all about. So on that note, we are going to go ahead on in and get right started today. So welcome, you guys. I am so excited to share today's live with you guys. So just a little bit about me in case you are newer to my space, newer to my channel. First of all, welcome. I'm glad that you guys are here. So I'm Britt Inez. I'm a transformation coach and body goal specialist. And women turn to me when they are ready to get off of the consistency struggle bus so they can love how they look and feel good in the process. Okay. That last part is so important. I've helped hundreds of women to stop feeling like they have to like really hate the process to get to the body that they love, because I 100% do not think that getting your dream body should feel like punishment. I 100% think that you should be able to enjoy the process while working on that next better version of yourself, whatever that goal may be for you, right? Let's see. Al says, oh my God, it's going to be huge. I'm all about the 10 p.m. Hershey bar and then hating my life in the morning. Yeah. So look, girl, listen. I don't want you guys to have those feelings of guilt. And I tend to find that people feel those feelings of guilt when they feel like they've done something wrong, right? So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys, how do you work in like that Hershey bar at night? So that way, if you want to have it, you can have it and wake up the next day feeling amazing and not feeling like, oh my God, I messed up. I got to make up for it and do crazy cardio, or I got to restrict food, or whatever the case may be. So let me kind of know, you guys who are here with me live, what's the longest that you've ever been able to stay consistent before with eating on a diet plan? Because that's one of the first questions I ask people when I start working with them on their nutrition. And the reason for that is because I always like to kind of know where you're at. And normally what I'm hearing is I hear people tell me things like a few days, a few weeks, or maybe just a few hours. Because one of my clients, Rashonda, when she started working with me, her story was she would wake up, she'd feel motivated to be on track, and she'd be in it to win it. And then a few hours into the day, the hunger pangs, right? The sugar babies crying and start wanting the cookies, the Hershey bars, the donuts in my case, or the whatever. She give in and have something quick, and then start feeling like, oh my gosh, I messed up. I got to throw the whole day away. And then, you know what? Let me just go ahead on and just start over on Monday. And she went through that rinse and repeat cycle over and over and over and over again. So in her case, she would only be able to stay consistent for maybe a few days, if even that, but it was really more so a couple of hours. And what I found, let me see, Janelle says recently about 3 to 4 months. I see 3 months. Let's see. Elle says, I'll hit 3 weeks and then have a monster binge that I call a refeed, and then it's all down here from there. Yes, I understand, because it's kind of like this, right? You start off with the great intentions and then you have a slip up. Let's just call it a slip up, because I don't believe there's anything wrong. But then it's so hard to get back on track because you feel like, well, I got to give up everything I love over again. And I really like the way I feel when I eat stuff that I love, right? Let me see. Erica says a few months. So whether it's a few months, a few days, a few weeks, falling off happens when I find people getting bored and people feeling deprived, which is why I'm not a big fan of having to give up entire food groups or like swear off foods and tell yourself something like, I'm not going to eat Hershey bars and cookies until I lose 15 pounds, right? First of all, that's so unrealistic. That's so unsustainable. And it really sets you up for this like all or nothing mentality, to where if you're not on it, then you're off it. And we're going to break that today. And one of the best approaches that I've found has been to really focus on your macro needs, as opposed to feeling like I have to give up certain foods in order to get to where I want to be. So let me just kind of start off today's training with what macros are. Now, this is going to be a jam-packed training, so definitely make note of any questions. There is going to be a live Q&A at the end, so you can feel free to ask me questions as we go along. I may wait until the end to answer them, just depending on what the question is, but you definitely want to take some notes here. So for you guys who may not necessarily know what macros are, macros is short for macronutrients, right? So essentially what happens is, and I'm just going to use this sugar-free Red Bull that's so conveniently placed here. When you guys look at the back of any kind of label, you're going to see fats, carbs, proteins. For the sake of today's training, I'm going to be focusing on those 3 macronutrients. You call them macros for short. That's what macros are. And the reason why we're going to be focusing on those is because when you're looking at losing weight, burning fat, most people need to be eating a certain amount of calories in order to do that, right? Because if you overeat the calories you need, you may not lose as much fat and lose as much weight as you want to, unless you're in a unique position to where you can eat maintenance level calories or even surplus. But for today, we're not going to get into all that, okay? So for the sake of today's live, we're going to be focusing on protein, carbs, and fats. And just real quick, I want to over on those. 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, okay? 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. So you can kind of see how eating too many fats can quickly kind of cause you to eat a lot of calories. And a lot of people who I've worked with, and even people who I've kind of just talked to just over the years, they've told me things like, well, I've tried to track my food, or I've tried to keep a food journal, and it really hasn't ever worked. So kind of let me know if that's been you. Because I even used to do that too. So I used to have like a journal. I'm surprised I don't have it in this room, but I used to have a journal. I would write out everything that I ate in a day because I felt like that would give me more accountability, or I felt like that would give me a more sense of what I was eating and things I needed to do better. And Rashonda, before she worked with me too, she was doing the exact same thing. But what I found with tracking, whether you're doing tracking like in an actual food journal or you're using some kind of like tracking app, it doesn't kind of tell you a whole lot. Okay. So one of the things I want to share with you guys is the biggest reason why tracking hasn't worked for you and how to fix it. Because you can definitely track your food in a way to where it can work for you. But for so many people, it ends up being this process of you just kind of feeling like feelings of guilt because you look at your journal or whatever it is you're looking at. You see that you've eaten that candy bar, that whatever, and then you feel guilty because you're like, oh, I ate something bad. That's a bad day. And it sets the tone for the day. And the reason why tracking doesn't necessarily work is because just writing down the foods that you eat alone, it doesn't really tell you a whole lot, right? It'll tell you what you're eating in that day. But when you're really looking at wanting to lose weight, burn fat, it really comes down to eating the right things and the right amounts, right? So it's not just enough to know that, okay, today I chose to eat some almonds over a Hershey's bar, right? Because you can still be making healthy choices and still not losing any weight. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make when they tell me things like, hey, I started tracking my food to track my healthy choices and I'm still not seeing results. Because just like I kind of shared with you guys before, if you're choosing to snack on things like almonds, nuts, those things are high in fat, right? And like I just shared with you guys, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So you can quickly see how even just like snacking on the healthy stuff, right, can easily cause you to eat a lot of calories, and that can put you out of the deficit you need to be within to lose weight and to burn fat, or whatever that caloric goal should be for you. And we're going to talk all about that later and how to figure those things out. Because just because something is healthy does not mean it's body goal friendly. And that is one of the biggest challenges that I have to help my clients overcome, because we tend to feel like if something is healthy or because it's natural, then it's going to help us get where we want to be. And that is just not always the case, right? So when we start thinking about like eating the right things and the right amounts, and you're kind of wondering like, okay, well, how do I figure that whole thing out? I thought I should just eat a certain number of calories a day. That's where macros come into play, right? That's where you start to kind of look to say, okay, well, let me see how much protein I should eat in a day, how many grams of fat I should eat in a day, how many grams of carbs I should eat in a day. Because when you look at it that way, then you're able to see results even faster. Because here's the thing, the reality is this: 1,500, let's just say your goal was to eat 1,500 calories a day, right? Your body is going to process 1,500 calories of donuts differently than it is 1,500 calories of whole balanced meals, right? Where you're eating all the food groups. So you're eating fruits, you're eating vegetables, you're eating lean protein sources, you're eating healthy fat sources. Your body's going to break down all that differently. So I've never subscribed to the whole idea of like, oh, a calorie is a calorie. It doesn't really kind of matter. You can eat whatever you want. Because that's one of the quickest ways that I found people to get super discouraged when it comes to kind of just tracking their food, and you feel like it's not working. So like I shared with you guys on today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to figure it all out with a crazy, easy to follow way that won't leave you feeling like, oh my gosh, I got to work with someone in order to figure this whole thing out. So kind of let me know if you guys are ready for that, because what I see people make when calculating their macros, if they kind of done it on their own before, right? I've seen people overconsume fats, because most people kind of overshoot how many fats they should eat in a day. And fat is very calorie dense. So if you're doing that, it's super easy to then use up all of your macros on that, and then you're not getting your protein in, right? And you need protein. Your body needs protein. It's muscle sparing, and it's going to help you to maintain lean muscle mass, to build muscle while you're losing weight, okay? Because so many of us, it's not just about losing weight. It's not just about, oh, I want to hit a certain jean size. It's also you having a certain look and feel, right? You want to feel fit. You want to feel healthy. And you don't want to have like that kind of like stringy kind of look that you have when you just kind of like, oh, I lost 10 pounds, but I kind of just look kind of just like blah. That's the best way I can describe it. And it really comes down to making sure you get your protein in. But if you're over consuming carbs, over consuming fats, and you're not leaving room for the protein, then you're not going to hit your macros where you need to be. So I'm getting a yes, I'm ready. Okay, cool. So here is the thing. When it comes to figuring out your macros, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a really easy to follow formula. So that way, if you guys see me looking off, it's because I don't want to miss any of those I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So just rock with me for a minute. I'm going to walk you guys through it. And then I'm going to actually walk you through an example so you can see how this would look like for you guys. Okay. So here's the thing. I tend to feel that people have overcomplicated this whole process of figuring out macros. And I'm all about making this like super simple for people to do, because we are all super busy. Anybody got time for all that? Like we just don't have time to tinker with stuff and all of that. So the thing is this, I tend to take a really simplified approach to it. And this is something that you can use as a starting point for yourself. So the way it will work is this. The first step in figuring out your macros is to figure out what are your caloric needs. Now, this training is all about losing weight and burning fat. So I'm going to assume that you guys are here because you have some excess fat you want to get rid of and you want to lose some weight. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to assume that we're going to be in a caloric deficit. Now, there are clients that I have worked with that lost fat, lost weight without being in a deficit. But the majority of people that I have worked with had to be in a deficit to a certain extent in order to get the ball rolling. Okay. So the first step is this. You got to calculate your calories. And when you're trying to figure out your calories, it's so many different ways to do it. One of the easiest ways to do it is to take your body weight and multiply that by 10 to 14. Now, you can choose to multiply it by 10 if your lifestyle is a little bit more sedentary. So let's just say you're not really working out, or you might have like an injury and you're just, you're not going to be burning a whole lot of calories. So you're just going to be a little bit more conservative with your output, right? Then you can choose 10 as a multiplier. If you are someone that's like really active, you are like in it to win it, you going hard in the gym or with your home workouts, then you might want to use a multiplier like by 13 or 14, okay? For today's example, I'm going to choose 10 just to make it easy, okay? So the first step is to calculate your calories by multiplying your body weight by 10 to 14. After that, you need to figure out your protein needs. The easiest way to do that, take your body weight and eat your body weight in grams of protein. Now, if you're wondering, because I'm often asked, oh my gosh, Britt, that seems like so much protein. Like that's a lot of protein. Do I need to really eat that much protein? Don't forget, when you're wanting to reshape your body, you don't want to lose fat in the process, right? So the problem what I see so many people have is like when they're going on these like diets, whatever the diet may be that you chose to go on, right? You might be eating a certain amount of calories, but if you're not eating a certain amount of protein, you're going to not just lose fat, you're going to lose muscle in the process. And that can give you like that kind of skinny fat look that a lot of people don't desire to have. I've never worked with any woman in this point being like, Britt, I want to be skinny fat. Make that happen for me. That's my body goal wish. I've never heard that. So you definitely want to make sure that you're getting adequate protein, and protein is muscle sparing. So as you are losing fat, losing weight, you're going to be able to still maintain your muscle mass in the process. That is a big reason why you guys see me diet down, lean out when I'm getting ready to get on stage, but I still have my overall shape because I'm not losing muscle. I'm purely losing fat. And it's because I do follow a high protein diet and I've seen it to be very effective. So just take a little moment. If you guys haven't and you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe so that I know I can keep content like this coming to you guys, because I love doing these trainings, but I definitely want to make sure that you guys are here for them too and loving this type of content too. So then once you kind of figure out your protein by taking your body weight, eating that in grams, the next step is to figure out your fats. Now, like I shared before, I've seen so many people make the mistake of over consuming fat. So a quick and easy way to figure that out, 30 to 35% of your calories should be fats. Okay. Because remember, fats are super high in calories, right? For every 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So it's double the amount of both protein and carbs. So you really don't need a whole lot unless you are going to be following a more keto-based style of eating. That's a whole nother live for a whole nother different topic for a whole nother different day. We're not getting into all that today. And then the last step is to take your carbs, and you'll use whatever calories you have left over and eat those in grams of carbs. Okay. And that is one of the simplest ways that I can break this down to you guys. So if you're kind of wondering, like right now, like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense, Britt, but like, how does this whole thing work? I'm actually going to walk you guys through this entire example right now. So let me know if all of that kind of is clear for you guys who are joining live, or even if you catch on the replay, definitely comment down below and let me know, like, I'm rocking with you, I'm following, I'm tracking, or, oh my gosh, I'm ready for the Q&A. Okay, so let's say, for example, I'm going to use someone who is 150 pounds as an example for today. So let's just say this person, she's 150 pounds, and I'm going to assume that she's not working out, right? Maybe quarantine life has just gotten to her and she's just stuck in a rut. So I'm going to say she's going to be sedentary. So I'm going to multiply that by 10 to figure out her caloric needs are going to be 1,500 calories, right? So let's then say, okay, well, 1,500 calories. And then now she is going to be eating her body weight in grams of protein. So that's 150 grams of protein that she's going to be eating, right? And like I shared with you guys, if you ever want to figure out how many calories equate to a certain gram of a macronutrient, just multiply it by 4 if it's protein, 4 if it's carbs, 9 if it's fat. So if she's eating 150 grams of protein, multiply that by 4, that's 600 calories right there. Okay. So that's 600 of her 1,500 calories a day are coming from protein. All right. Next, we have fats. Like I shared with you guys, fat 30 to 35%. For the sake of this example, I'm going to choose 30%. So 30% of 1,500 is 450 calories are going to be coming from fat. So if you want to see what that's going to break down in terms of, okay, well, how many grams of fat are in 450 calories divided by 9, because for every 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, right? So that puts her right around 50 grams of fat. And then what we do with carbs is whatever's left over. So far we've gotten 1,050 calories from her protein and from her fat. We're trying to get to 1,500 calories. That leaves us 450 calories to play with for her carbs. Divide that by 4, that's 112. So when this all kind of evens out, her caloric needs actually come to like 1,498, but that's pretty dang close to 1,500. So we're going to say we hit the 1,500 mark, okay? One of the questions that I often get asked is, okay, well, do I actually have to hit them 100% on? Here's the thing. Unless you are going to like get on stage and you have to be 100% like on it, then you can have a little variances, right? You can get away with a little plus or minus. You can have plus or minus like 5, I like to kind of stay within, but really like nothing more than that, right? So I hope that example was really easy for you guys to follow and to understand, because this is really how you can go in to eat what you want. Because once you know your macro needs, and let's just say for this, I'm going to use the same person as an example. Let's just say she's like, okay, well, I know I have 112 grams of carbs to eat in a day, 50 grams of fat and 150 grams of protein. I really want me some French fries. She can go and eat those fries, figure out what the macros are by using like a tracking app. One of my favorite apps is MyFitnessPal. And then she sees everything she has left over throughout the day and then just eat accordingly to not go over that. And then you can kind of see how you can work these things in. So kind of like someone mentioned earlier, it's that 10 p.m. Hershey bar. You can work that 10 p.m. Hershey bar in so long as you create the space around the other parts of your day with how you're eating your food, right? And maybe you might be like, oh, you know what? If I eat the whole Hershey bar, that takes up a lot of my fats, a lot of my carbs. Let me eat the fun size one. So then you're able to start to feel like, okay, you know what? I can enjoy what I want in moderation in a way that won't leave me feeling guilty, won't leave me feeling deprived in the process, because that is what it really takes. If you really are ready to break that cycle of starting something and then falling off over and over and over and over and over again. So before I get into our summary of today, I definitely want to take a little minute to answer your guys' questions. So now is the time for you guys to pop those questions down below if you have not already done so I can answer them live. Like I shared with you guys, I am going to be doing a giveaway after this, after the Q&A today. because the final step in all this is to test. So I share with you guys how to figure out your macros so that you can lose fat, burn weight. But the thing is this: you are there's no one size fits all approach to any of this, right? I've worked with so many women over the years, and I've never been able to give two women the exact same thing and get the exact same results. So the thing here is to test it out. Maybe start off, I would definitely recommend you follow something for like 2 weeks, see how your body's doing, and then assess from there. And if you're finding like, oh, you know what, that didn't really, I'm not really kind of losing some stuff, then maybe you need to drop your calories, or maybe you need to increase your fat, or maybe you need to decrease your carbs, right? It really just kind of depends on what your body is doing, but this is a process, right? So it's definitely not going to be an overnight kind of thing. So let me go on into seeing what some of you guys are asking here in the Q&A. Okay, so Erica says, do you recommend, I'm assuming you're going to say weighing. Do you recommend weighing everything? So my answer to that question is yes, I do. And the reason for that is because I did not used to weigh my food. I actually didn't. I used to eyeball it and just wing it. And what I found was that I was eating like how I thought I should be eating, but I had nothing to go on. So kind of like how I just told you guys, hey, see how your body responds, and then if you need to make changes, make changes. If you're not weighing your food, you don't know how much you're eating to know what to change up, right? And then you can just kind of like throwing stuff against the wall and kind of like hoping it sticks and hoping that you make the right decision, right? So I tend to, I do weigh my food. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. It does take a little bit to get used to, but once you kind of get used to it and you get in the swing of it, I normally give my clients like 3 weeks of kind of like runway time. Then you kind of get into a groove and it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta spend hours a day in the kitchen figuring out what's what. But definitely weighing your food is going to help you make sure that you stay within the grams that you've set for yourself as far as your targets, okay? Because one of the things that I find so many people make the mistake of doing is they tend to say, okay, I'm eating healthy, I'm making healthier choices. But when I come to ask them, I'm like, okay, well, how much are you eating? They can't tell me, right? They just tell me like, oh, I eat a chicken salad and I eat some veggies. Okay, well, that doesn't really tell me a whole lot. And it can be really frustrating for you down the line when you hit plateaus to figure out what can change. And I want to help you guys prevent that. So just weigh your food, and don't get it twisted. I am going to be sharing a lot of meal prep videos on this channel as well to find, so you guys can have ways to make this whole process super easy for you guys to do and to really make a lifestyle so that it sticks. All right, let me see. DI1 says, what is your advice for someone who is insulin resistant? That's a great question. So the thing with insulin sensitivities is, or if you're insulin resistant, what I find is you tend to need to be lower in carbs, and you need to make sure that be really mindful of the carbs that you are eating, okay? Different type of carbs can cause a certain glycemic spike. So for example, your body is going to respond differently to carbs that you eat from, let's just say a Hershey bar, to carbs that you eat from like some jasmine rice, right? So for someone who is insulin resistant, you need to definitely make sure that you are really conscious of the amount of carbs that you're eating and the type of carbs that you are eating, because those are going to be two very important factors for you to always, always, always consider. Okay. Let's see. Janelle says, I weigh 185 pounds. What food do you suggest to consume to satisfy that protein macro? Okay, so not really knowing, Janelle, what your lifestyle is. I don't know if you are a meat eater or if you are a pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan. I work with clients who are all of the above. I would say that lean protein sources are going to be the route to go. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to hit 185 grams of protein or you're trying to hit 120 grams of protein. I would say for anyone who's watching this live, right? Protein sources, if you're a meat eater, okay, if you're a meat eater, lean chicken, turkey, fish, there's so many types of fish that you can eat, especially if you guys are pescatarian. I mean, basically any white fish will be fine for you guys to eat. You can even do tuna if you guys are looking for more like convenient options that you don't really have to kind of heat up and cook, because cooking comes up as a big struggle for a lot of people. If you are vegan or you prefer more plant-based protein, tofu, tempeh, seitan chicken, things like that are going to be more of your route to go. You can always do supplements as well. So protein shakes can count, but I tend to not to, I don't like I would always prefer people to eat actual food versus supplements. Supplements have a time and place, and it's typically more when you are just kind of grab a meal on the go, or you're going to be following some kind of like recipe to concoct some kind of like sweet dessert treat. That's body goal friendly, like I like to do just about every single day. Okay, so let me see. Janelle says that just seems like a lot of protein for me. So the thing is, you'd be very surprised. Once you really look at your protein, most people don't eat enough protein to begin with. So I can totally understand how you can look at that and be like, oh my God, that's a whole lot of protein. So maybe for you, if you are someone who, because I've had clients who have told me things like, well, Britt, I just can't eat that much meat. That just kind of bothers me. So instead of eating 1 gram per body weight, then maybe you're going to multiply that by like 0.7 or 0.8 or something like that. So a little bit on the lower end. But I can guarantee you that once you start eating in a way to lose fat, you're going to welcome the food. Because most people are going to find that like once you start kind of like changing the way that you eat, your body's going to be metabolizing food much, much faster. It's going to be super quick digesting meals that you're going to eat. So you're going to become hungrier as your metabolism increases. So you'll welcome the food that may seem like a bit much and kind of like overkill at some time. And the thing about it is this, guys, I just want everyone to kind of hear right now, I'm shooting this video, it's October 16th. Whether you decide to kind of like figure this out on your own, or whether you decide to like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to kind of like stick with what I'm doing. The reality is the holidays are coming up on us like super, super fast. And I see every single year, time and time again, that holiday weight gain tends to start off around, I would say, Halloween with Halloween candy. And then that kind of rolls into kind of Thanksgiving. And then you start having the Christmas parties, and you start having the potlucks and things like that. 2020 is a little bit different. But for the most part, things start to kind of get a little relaxed in general around this time of year. And then you roll into like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and then you're making the same resolutions to get rid of the weight. This is going to finally be the year that I lose weight. But guess what, y'all? You can break that cycle by just being really conscious of how you're eating your macros over this time of the year, okay? This process, it takes a little bit of time to figure out, takes a little bit of patience, but it's 100% doable. And this is something that you can do while still enjoying your favorite holiday treats, while still enjoying that pumpkin spice treat that you like, or even maybe it's that sweet potato pie, or maybe it's like some of your favorite things on Thanksgiving. I just don't want you guys to feel like this process is overwhelming and that you have to make sure that, oh my gosh, if I don't hit this, then I'm not going to see results, because that's not the case, right? This is a lifestyle kind of thing. And I know what it feels like to feel like you have to have this all or nothing mentality. So if you were ready to break that cycle, then definitely make sure you check out Snatch, because this is exactly what I help my clients to do, so that they can take all the guesswork out of it, and all they got to do is just follow along, enjoy the foods that they love, and to still feel amazing in the process and feel fulfilled and satisfied in the process. So I will drop the link down below in the description, but you can check out bit.ly/join Snatch for more info, regardless of the time that you are catching this video. So let me see. Erica says, do you weigh cooked or raw? So it depends on the food. So for example, I pretty much will measure everything cooked, unless it's something, the only thing I measure with raw is going to be like oats. So like oatmeal, if I'm going to do that, then I'll measure that uncooked, so to say. If I'm eating things like pasta, then I'm going to measure that uncooked. So I'm going to measure that dry. Everything else, I'm going to be measuring raw. If I'm doing like veggies, things like that, for the most part, I do measure my veggies after they are cooked. Unless it's something like lettuce or something like that, which I'm going to eat raw anyway. So I'll measure that raw. In terms of my protein, I think that's kind of might be what you're kind of asking me more of. I do measure that after it's been cooked, unless it's beef, in which case I measure that raw. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. Let me see. Erica says, how do you feel about fasted cardio? So I tend to feel like for me, here's the thing. Hold on, wait. I got some stuff to say about this. If it's a matter of you doing cardio or not doing cardio, do the damn cardio any time of the day that you know you're going to be able to get it in. Okay. Sometimes I feel like people tend to say, oh, well, I got to get it in like faster. I got to get it in like first thing in the morning. Otherwise, I'm not going to see results. But if you are just not a morning person and you're not going to get up and you're not going to do fasted cardio before your day starts, and that winds up into you not doing cardio at all, then guess what? Doing cardio at 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night is going to be better than you not doing cardio at all. So you know yourself better than I know you. So if you know that you can get up and do fasted cardio, go for it. Do I think it's 100% necessary in order to change your body in the way that you want it to change? I don't think that it's 100% necessary, but I have seen the benefit in doing it in some cases. So I'll just kind of be honest with you guys with my own body. I've been tracking my body very closely for the past, over 3 years now. And I do notice a distinct difference in how quickly I'm able to drop weight and to drop fat when I do my cardio fasted versus when I do my cardio like midday or end of day or just after I've had like some meals in the day, right? There's really no right or wrong. I know there's a lot of research out there that says fasted cardio is not necessary. So again, like I'm saying, you don't necessarily have to do it fasted, but I know for a fact for my body responds very well when I do cardio fasted. And I've tested this with clients, and some clients, their body has performed very well too. Other clients, it hasn't made a whole difference. So I would say definitely try it out. And if you can make that a lifestyle habit, a lot of times fasted cardio is a great way to get your day going, to get your energy going, then go for it. Let's see. So let me see here. How do you feel about fasted cardio? Thank you. This helps a lot. Oh, I'm glad that helped your question. Okay. So, DI1 says, what causes what causes metabolic damage and how do you fix it? That's a great question. So there's so many factors that can cause your metabolism to be wrecked. It can be, I've seen people who have just been in crazy deficits for far too long. Like there's some clients who have come to me and they're like, well, I've been in a deficit for like 3 years. I'm like, first of all, how? So over dieting can cause a lot of metabolic damage. Also, if you are kind of like a yo-yo dieter to where like you, for example, not to say you are doing this, but let's just say someone, they start a diet and they do really well, see results, they fall off and they start another diet, do really well, see results, and they kind of like do like this, your metabolism is going to be like, okay, well, I don't know what she's going to throw at us next. And she keeps like starving us after we do these kind of diets. So I'm just going to kind of just do my own thing and kind of check out. So I've seen inconsistent dieting cause metabolic damage. I've seen some people who have been overtrained and that's caused a lot of damage there. So it's a lot of different factors that can really cause you to have a messed up metabolism. In terms of how to fix it, it depends on what the reason as to how it got messed up tends to be. I'll kind of share with you guys, most clients that I have found that I have worked with who has had metabolic damage, we had to pull them out of a deficit because at a certain point, right? Let's just say, for example, you were eating 1,000 calories and you've been eating 1,000 calories for 3 years and you still have this like higher body fat than what you want to have. Well, putting you in a deeper deficit, first of all, that's not going to really fix anything. So the first step is to bring the calories higher, right? And I know that seems really counterintuitive, but you have to kind of get yourself out of that hole that your body has used to been in order to kind of get you to a stable place. And then you can start to increase your calories from there in a really gradual process. So I hope that answers your question there. All right. Okay, you guys. So if you guys don't have any other questions, like I shared, one of you on this live was going to win something for the giveaway. So if you guys are ready for that piece, definitely let me know down below. As you guys are doing on that, I just want to let everyone know here who joined. Thank you so much for joining and rocking. I love to kind of share this kind of content with you guys. So please make sure that you subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up so I know to kind of keep everything like this coming because I am relaunching this channel. So if you guys are new to my channel, you might have seen content on here already, but I really wasn't bringing the heat like I wanted to. So I have so many like helpful how-to videos and just ways to kind of make this make sense, because there's so much information out there and so much like fluffy information that I feel like people try and overcomplicate for y'all to feel like you have to like, oh my gosh, well, I can't do this on my own. You do have control to become your own definition of body goals. And I want to give you guys the information and the tools and the resources to make that actually happen. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm getting, oh, this is so informative. Oh, good, good, good. Thank you so much. Yes, ready. Oh, Erica says that was the best breakdown of macros. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I am so glad that you guys are loving that. So without further ado, like I shared with you guys, there's going to be a huge giveaway on this live. Yay. Oh, dearie. Oh, hey, go. Hey. You are so welcome. So one person on this live is going to be winning a couple of things for me. So as you guys know, you may or may, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. A lot of you guys do, because I recognize some of the screen, some of the names here who are on the live. But few things, I have started waist training in January of this year, and I have seen such a tremendous difference from it. I want to gift someone today on this live one of my favorite waist trainers that I wear from Squeezing Skinny. I actually have one on, let me see, right now. You guys can kind of see that. So someone is going to win that, and you are also going to get a free 2-week membership into Snatch. That is the group that I was telling you guys about earlier today in our live. And really, I created Snatch because I want to give you what you need so that you can eat what you want, reshape your body, build the muscle that you want to have, build the curves that you want to have, and enjoy the process. Okay. I am all about making this sustainable for you in a way that doesn't feel like you have to choose between wanting to have your dream body and love how you feel, and then wanting to have the things that you actually love to eat. Because inside Snatch, I give away tons of body goal friendly, macro friendly recipes that taste like they came out your grandmama's kitchen, because it's that time of year where people want to bake, people want to take stuff, and you can definitely do that in a way that will still be productive to your goals. And I share all that with you inside Snatch. I also have monthly full workout videos that are released. I have weekly training sessions with the girls inside Snatch. So imagine me being your personal trainer every single week, every week of the year, right? That's like 52 personal training sessions that you guys get with me per year by being inside Snatch, along with FAQs, even more trainings that are more in-depth even than this is right now. So for you guys who are curious, make sure you check out bit.ly/join Snatch. I will also post it down here in the comments so you guys can check that on out. And then if you're catching the replay, then you can definitely check out the description here so that you can check it on out. But the winner of today is going to get 2 free weeks into that, and also a free waist trainer. So let's see. The winner for today is just going to be a random selection. Erica. So Erica, love, congrats. I am going to be contacting you. If you could please, let me see, what's the best way for me to kind of get your information? How about you send me a DM on Instagram so that I can get your personal information, because I need to get all your mailing stuff and all that kind of good fun stuff, your access information. So Erica, if you could, I am across all social media at Brittany Inez Rand. I don't know if we're already connected on there, but please send me a little DM there and I will get you over your giveaway. So for you guys who are here, thank you guys so much for rocking with me today. I really hope that you walked away today with some nuggets to really help you better understand how do you figure out macros so that you can lose weight, burn weight in a super simple way that won't leave you feeling like you got to scratch your head and give up your favorite foods and just really hate the process of you reshaping your body and getting to where you want to be. So like I said, you guys, I'm going to be dropping new videos on this channel every single Friday from here on out, and more trainings just like this today. Don't forget to give this a like and subscribe while you are here, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.